Alf, it's true. Some cards go up and some go down, but man, in a world where inflation is hitting us,
all this time we've been building it.
Things are only getting more expensive. If you take big losses on trading cards, or anything for that matter, it can really be a stinger long term. And so we're going to look at some of these players today using Card Ladder player indexes. And so this is pretty cool. This is where they take a look at a player and they've got however many cards. We'll talk about how many cards they've got in their database there, and they're tracking them and then showing kind of the ups and downs and how this looks. I did this based on the last 2 years. So you can do it last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or all time. I decided to do it the last 2 years because really, if we look at the sports card market, the last 2 years has been pretty bullish for sports cards, kind of 24, 25 as we head into 26.
Yeah.
And so if players are down in a bull market, what does that say when the tides eventually probably turn and we don't have such a bullish market here in the sports card market? So we're going to talk about this today. And on the back end of the video, make sure you stay till the end. We've got some of the hottest cards on eBay and the PSA store, and we're going to take a look at some of those on the back end of this video. All right, the first one, man, this guy, what happened to Kawhi Leonard? What the heck happened to Kawhi Leonard? I feel like this guy won the title. Do you remember the shot? The shot.
Looks at the clock, turns the corner for the win. Got it! Kawhi Leonard!
This guy won the title with the Raptors. He ended up going to the Clippers. But ever since he made that move, it was almost like a curse going from the Raptors to the Clippers. Has he played a lot of meaningful basketball since that championship? Not really. And he is down over the last 2 years, 41%. You just don't hear about this guy other than his laugh.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
He's right there.
Yeah, the glasses, there you go.
Down 41% in Card Ladder, and they're tracking 86 cards. So over the last 2 years, down 41%. So this isn't 1 card, 2 cards, 5 cards. 86 Kawhi Leonard cards are in Card Ladder, and it basically spits out a minus 41%. Jaylen Brown, next up, Jaylen Brown, minus 41% as well. This guy literally won a title 2 years ago with the Celtics. Hailed as the guy that might be better than Jason Tatum, might be the best player on that team. 59 cards being tracked in the Card Ladder database there, minus 41% over the last 2 years. And it's not as if this guy just fell off and is having a terrible career. He literally won a championship less than 2 years ago. Unbelievable. Before we go to the next player, make sure to get $25 off that first PSA order with the SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen. We're the Groupon of hobby promo codes down there in the video description as well as the pinned comments. Make sure you get your discounts, friends. SCD25 code at the PSA shipping and billing screen for first-time submitters. Next up, Austin Matthews, hockey star, minus 18% over the last 2 years, 13 cards being tracked. Oh, Austin Matthews. Ja Morant, man. Ja Morant talking trash on the bench to Klay Thompson here recently. Just what the heck happened with Ja Morant? Minus 56% over the last 2 years, and he doesn't have 5 cards, not 20 cards, not 100 cards being tracked in Card Ladder. 331 cards being tracked in Card Ladder between Ja Morant and Zion Williamson. My goodness, man. The 2 biggest stars out of that 2019 draft class. Wow. Kevin Durant, maybe a top 12, top 15 player of all time. Kevin Durant got such a smooth, fluid game. He's down 3%. 3%. He also has 331 cards in Card Ladder, minus 3% over the last 2 years. And this guy's been playing good basketball. Yeah, he's bounced around a little bit, but one of the all-time greats is down 3% over the last 2 years. Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, top 5 quarterback when healthy, and I think that's kind of part of the issue, when healthy. This guy has missed a lot of games. Joe Burrow has really got to string together 5, 7, 10 years to finish out this career where he's mostly injury-free. I think that he's going to do some great things for the Bengals. He's got Jamar Chase there. He's got some weapons. But Joe Burrow is down 11% over the last 2 years. Now think about that for a second. Think about how much money in the hobby has been spent on Joe Burrow over the last couple of years, over the last 3, 4 years. But over the last 2 years, down 11%, 219 cards being tracked in Card Ladder for Joe Burrow. Trevor Lawrence, Jags having a good season, minus 61% for Trevor Lawrence over the last 2 years, 28 cards there in the card ladder index. This is the stuff of nightmares if you're prospecting on players, and these are just examples. There are plenty of other prospect examples where it's gone far worse. Hello, Wander Franco. There's a lot of these. Now, what I will say is there's also players that have gained a lot of ground over the last 2 years. I'm going to start off with one that just shocks me. Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony. Do you guys remember watching Carmelo play basketball? Zero defense, great scorer, prolific scorer. He came out at the same time as LeBron James. I do not understand the fandom around Carmelo Anthony. I just don't get it. He was always a great scorer, never played a lick of defense, and never accomplished anything in the postseason. He's up 91% over the last 2 years. 60 cards in the card ladder database, in the card ladder index that are tracking this, and he's up 91% over the last 2 years. 60 cards, not one card, not 5 cards. It's not like cherry picking a card here, a card there. 91% over the last 2 years. Randy Moss, up 62% over the last 2 years. And I actually respect this. He's got 39 cards in the index, but Randy Moss has started to become more recognized and appreciated as, outside of Jerry Rice, probably the best receiver to ever play football. And a lot of people, there are people that will come out and say Randy Moss is better than Jerry Rice. That's up to each individual. I'm going to go with Jerry. I'm going to go with Jerry on this one. I can't point with the camera, stupid thing. I think Jerry is the best of all time, but Randy Moss, man, watching him in Minnesota, especially with Chris Carter, it was insane to watch just the bombs they would throw up to this guy, and he would just catch everything. Tom Brady did the same thing, just literally just chucked it up to him when he was playing for the Patriots, and he would come down with it. So Randy Moss, I can understand. I think what's happened is a lot of people going back and looking at some of his early cards, rookie cards, some of the cool inserts of Randy Moss, and that has kicked up his prices here over the last 2 years. Carl Yastrzemski, let's throw a vintage baseball guy. Yes, plus 0.06% over the last 2 years. 37 cards being tracked. So not obviously vintage players, they don't have parallels of cards. So this is the rookie card and then a bunch of other of his vintage cards. Flat over the last 2 years. Probably good for vintage card collectors that just want to buy the cards and don't want to feel like they're priced out of Carl's stuff. But that was an example of a vintage player that's just been really, really flat over the last 2 years. I think this is a reminder that player preference and player card prices, it's a fickle beast and it doesn't always make sense. Like I said with Carmelo Anthony, I'll probably have people in the comment section say, you know what? This is why Carmelo Anthony cards are popular. I'll never get it. I'm not going to understand it. He just never really did a whole lot on the basketball court outside of score the basketball, which if you look at today's NBA, everybody can score. It's like you're a loser if you don't average 20 points a game in the NBA currently. I mean, you got guys that are just consistently, what is Shea averaging? I saw something like averaging 35 points over the last 5-7 games or whatever, and that's routine now. Luka putting up 30, 35 a game, it's routine. So the idea that Carmelo Anthony is special enough to where he's up 91% over the last 2 years, you're not going to get me to understand it. Anyway, I think the main overall point of the video is you can have guys, Jaylen Brown is an example of a guy that's had a good career and won a title with the Celtics, and he's down 41% over the last 2 years in that card ladder index, in that database. So even when you think you can pick the player right, you can still come out a loser on some of this stuff. And I think at a time when everybody is really reassessing, looking at their budget, trying to figure out where am I spending money on cardboard, I think it signals we have to be more careful than ever. And for me personally, I've talked about it, just really not always focusing on high-end cards. You can get a lot of great lower-end cards that look fantastic, that don't break the bank. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Who are you collecting right now? Are you collecting because you're speculating like, I'm going to make money on this player? Or is it something where you are a collector of these players and you're like, you know what, I'm not really as worried. I'm not spending $1 zillion outside of my budget to where if stuff goes down, I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm a huge fan of XYZ player. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now let's flip the camera around and look at some of the hottest cards on eBay in the PSA store. Welcome back, friends, to another week. Hottest sports cards on eBay in the PSA store, where I've picked out some that, man, there are some really rad cards this week. First time submitters to PSA, make sure to use that SCD25 promo code to get $25 off your first submission. 1 card minimum to try out PSA. Also keep in in mind, when you grade cards with PSA, sure, you can send them all back, or you can send some of them back. You can send some of them to the vault and then sell on eBay. You can sometimes get offers on cards right after they're being graded. It's a big reason why PSA, it's so popular right now to grade with PSA. There's so many different options, liquidity options as well. When you've graded cards for collectors, you can send them home or you can sell them very easily through eBay or through PSA partner offers. All right, so let's fire this thing up. The first card that popped out at me, very interesting card, popular card in the hobby right now, are 90s PMGs. And we've got a 1997 Metal Universe. It is the PMG for Shaq. Shaq, the big man. Big men don't always get love in the sports card hobby. And Shaq certainly doesn't for a lot of kind of the early 90s stuff just because of how common they are. But here's an example of a card for Shaq that people love to collect that are looking for kind of some more of the rare stuff. This is an interesting opportunity in that it is an authentic altered grade by Beckett. So it looks like it's been trimmed or there's some sort of issue with it to where they put it as authentic altered. Maybe it was touched up or something. I'm not exactly sure what the story is here on this one. Asking $20,000 OBO, big price tag for sure, but it's a card that is numbered out of 100. There are collectors that just want to own the card. Would they take a better offer than this for this card? I am interested to see how this one goes. It's sitting at buy it now or best offer on eBay. One of the best signatures in the entire hobby. It is Ken Griffey Jr., and he's so beloved among collectors. I just thought this was a cool card. 2016 Topps Dynasty. It is a game used memorabilia patch that is on this card. It's numbered out of 10. Some folks might balk at it a little bit because it's Reds. So if it's not Mariners and might not be interested, but for the Reds fans out there, for Griffey collectors that are just looking for a great looking card, I love how it's got the red ink, the Griffey Jr. red ink signature. And it's a great kind of portrait picture of him. They're asking $17.50 here in the PSA store. Buy it now. Just a really crisp, nice looking card here. Numbered out of 10. Classic Griffey card. Stay on the Hall of Fame train. And of course, it is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Numbered out of 5. Flawless. This flawless stuff is always so popular. I love these on the football side too, where you've got Brett Favre or Emmitt Smith, some of the classic Hall of Famers on the football side. And here, of course, is Hakeem Olajuwon. On-card autograph, numbered to 5. It's flawless. The flawless brand. It's the Emerald version, asking $550, sitting in a BGS 9.5 holder. This overall great looking card. I pulled this one up for fun just because it is Larry Grandmama Johnson. Of course, this is not playing days. This is a 2024 Prism. I know that Prism isn't necessarily as popular for these type of like silver Prism with the auto card on it. It is a sticker autograph card, but I just thought, man, for the price tag, it's a PSA 9. It's $100. Buy it now. And just a good image of Larry Johnson. And of course, this is just a guy. I mean, if you're collecting in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the junk wax era time frame, this dude is absolutely classic. I mean, so I don't know. I just thought this was a cool card to throw into the mix here as we're talking. Back to baseball, and hard not to like, man, the early 2000s Upper Deck Ultimate Signatures. This is a dual auto of, frankly, a couple of the best baseball players to ever live. It is Derek Jeter, of course, the Yankee favorite, and Tony Gwynn, who passed away way too young. This is a PSA 10, and it's got the NBA gold sticker on it. They're asking, got a big price tag, $4,999 OBO. But one thing that just strikes me is how underrated Tony Gwynn is in the hobby overall, I think. And especially just the fact that the guy doesn't have tons of autographs because unfortunately he did pass away at a young age. And you've got two of the best batters of all time here with Jeter and Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn, man, he was something else. This card is numbered to 250, just a great looking card. Signs of October, Derek Jeter, Tony Gwynn in a PSA 10 holder, and it's numbered out of 250. This guy get in the Hall of Fame here recently. Some people were surprised at this. Fred McGriff, man. What was his nickname? The Crime Dog? Was that his nickname? Well, here is a huge card for a Fred McGriff collector. One of his best ones. It is the Essential Credentials Future, numbered to 25, BGS 9.5. They're asking $7,999 OBO. But again, this just goes back. The people that buy, the Bonds versions of these, the Griffey versions, they spend massive money. Of course, Michael Jordan versions, huge money. People that just collect Essential Credentials, not even worried about the player, but this is a Hall of Fame player. If I have that right, I believe that Fred McGriff just got in. Ken Griffey Jr. always gets the love for his swing, but Fred McGriff, man, he also had just an unbelievable swing. But I remember this guy from my childhood, and this is one of, if not his best baseball card right here. All right, the Chiefs have had a fairly average season this year, but this is a massive card that I saw just sitting here in the PSA eBay store. It's the 2016, the XRC, but what's different about this one for Patrick Mahomes is it's the tie-dye version out of 25. You don't see this card every day. I looked up what's just kind of the Silver Prism version of this. The Silver Prism version that is not numbered recently sold. There's a copy that had sold, I believe, in a PSA 10 for about $5,500. So this is a huge price tag, $35,000 OBO, but this is numbered out of 25. So this is not a card that comes up very often. There are 4 copies out of the 25 that are in a PSA 10 holder. So it is an opportunity to get really one of Mahomes' best cards. It's the XRC. So of course it came before the 2017 Prism that everybody loves. Just a great card, great picture of him, and I really like the design of Select, so had to share this one. Jokic, an absolute machine, just continues to roll on. Underrated game, of course. Well, I wouldn't say underrated. He's got a couple of MVPs. Here's a 2019 impeccable Jokic on-card autograph. It is a PSA 8, but again, just an opportunity to own a Jokic autograph, kind of a little bit more early days, not a rookie auto for him or anything, but I like the image. I like the card design. Putting up a shot here. It's numbered out of 5. They're asking $799 on the buy it now. And here's a guy that people loved collecting, especially during the pandemic. Again, we talked about him. One of the, top dozen players of all time, top 15 player of all time. It's Kevin Durant. I just thought this card looked really, really cool. It's 2025 Panini Black Box. It is a 1 of 1. It is a on-card auto, it looks like to me. I just like the fact that he's in his Sonics gear. It is the 2021 Origins gold vinyl 1 of 1. It is $4,999 OBOs. They're asking a lot for it, but man, I'm a sucker for Seattle Supersonics. Going back to the 80s, with the glove and Sean Kemp, playing for the Sonics. They were a really cool team to root for. And I just like the whole, Kevin Durant being in the Seattle gear here. Just a great looking card. Last but certainly not least here, Wemby still, man, he has got a lot of love for his cards. He started off the season hot. And while he does have his Topps autographs and his Panini license stuff, the Bowman, you can see here that the Bowman cards, they still go for a lot. This is a 2022 PSA 10, and it is the orange version for this Bowman Inception auto. It's numbered out of 25, so it is numbered low. But I was a little surprised to see this thing is already at over $2,000, and we still got 5 days to go. The auctions I did pull up here still have 3, 4, 5 days to go. Some great cards out there in the PSA eBay store. My friends, thank you very much for joining me here for another episode, another great hottest cards on eBay in the PSA store. Don't forget to use that promo code for first-time submitters, SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen for $25 off, 1 card minimum. Friends, have an amazing weekend ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.